I looked at the email that Terry sent out and all of your information, and all I can say is wow.
Oh, thank you.
And I don't even know I could do justice an introduction. You're probably way better suited to maybe give a little bit of your own introduction and tell us your life story. So thank you everybody for coming. And Lucy, right?
Yes.
I've also seen Lucia.
Lucia is my birth name.
Which do you prefer?
Either or.
Okay.
Works well. Either one.
Away.
Yeah, I respond to both. Thank you very much. It's wonderful, absolutely delightful for me to be here this evening. And thank you very much to Barbara, who found me somewhere back then when I was speaking at Unity Spiritual Center in December on numerology. And for me, it was a little bit of coming out of the woods a little bit, I think, with numerology. I've been practicing it for about 10 years, and since then I've been doing it professionally. It's been pretty incredible. And then as my speaking engagement last month was canceled, and another speaking engagement was canceled, and this one was still on, confirming 2 weeks ago, and then this one's still on. My partner has been going in and out of his own. He's a former paramedic, and so he's been going in and out of his own stuff around this. And I said, I will continue to be in service and continue to stay in the light and in the power of light overcomes darkness. And this is really what's rising up, I think, at this point in time. So thank you for bringing in the ancestral history and healing, because we're healing on so many levels, in spite of the fact that, I even have run my own little bit of fear, because it's like really damaged my business in many respects, because I'm non-essential service. So I don't have the sign turned up like this now. I have the sign turned up like this, but people still know that I'm there, right? But I'm not supposed to touch anyone. We're not supposed to. Okay, so right. So thank you for being here this evening, and really, you inspire me. And as I said to my partner, I know I will be in the presence of strong people. I just know that people who are very aware and looking to learn and be more empowered. And I've met Barbara. And so I thought, if they're running with Barbara, we're cool, right? We're just cool. So thank you very much, very much. So a little bit of my history. I've been on the planet now 64 years. I just had my 64th birthday. And I used to work for the Government of Canada. I left there in 2000. I started in 1980 with a 20-year reign, 12 years in supervision and management. And during that period of time, I got sicker and sicker, and had accident after accident and injury after injury. I have broken both of my elbows. I'm lucky I still have an ankle bone on my right leg. Came off of a go-kart pretty bad. I suffered a concussion, locked my skull and my first vertebrae together. 3 discs between my shoulder blades jammed in pretty hard, hit my sacrum pretty hard. Suffered a concussion in that experience as well. And the final of all of the accidents, and they've fallen off a cliff. I've done all kinds of things. Bronchial conditions that lasted sometimes 3 months long. Every couple of weeks I'd be getting sick. I mean, it was just situation after situation. And the final accident, which was the wake-up call, if you don't listen when God touches you with a feather, or whomever you call your higher power, will you when you take it with the rock? So I needed the rock. I only have 9.5 toes. This foot's name is Sally, and this foot's name is Jamie. And we just, a lot of the healing that was done as a result of losing my left big toe and slicing the second toe like a hot dog bun was to make peace with myself and to get onto my life path and to recognize that I was here for something way bigger and beyond what I was doing, where I recognized in the last probably 5 years of my career with the Government of Canada that I was speaking out of both sides of my mouth at the same time and not saying a thing. And the government is, he who has the gold rules, and we have the gold. And I had a crisis of conscience through all of that, and I think the toe accident was the final straw after I was dealing with 3rd stage adrenal exhaustion. December 2000, diagnosed with a major depressive disorder, told I would always walk with a limp. And a health and welfare doctor in Victoria told me that I would never regain cognitive thinking again without the use of heavy pharmaceutical drugs. So I was very lucky to find somebody like me at the time who took me alongside and said, just take the prescription, shove it in your pocket, don't swallow one of those pills, and let's get to work and recover your soul. And that's what I did. And so it's been a blessing in disguise, although I wish I would have maybe attended to the message earlier. But when one way or another, it's always the right time. And I was meant to experience all of those experiences in order to be who I am today and to be able to empower as many people that I do. So I do call myself a recovering bureaucrat from the Government of Canada. It's an ongoing process, and I've been processing a fair bit of frustration and anger in the last month or so, 2 months for sure, in this whole process, and just really happy now to be in a really strong place of personal power and presence of moving forward. So again, thank you for being here this evening and the opportunity to speak to you. A little bit of that history. I left the Government of Canada. I managed to fight my way getting my pension out, and went into Chinese medical school. That seemed to call to me. I spent a year in Chinese medical school while I worked part-time for a naturopathic doctor in Nanaimo, and so learned a lot about nutrition and herbs, Oriental traditions, mind-body-soul connection. Went through that whole journey and was quite inspired by a doctor of Oriental medicine whose yin and yang was out of balance and was charged with 30 counts of sexual assault, which motivated me out of that school into Windsong School of Healing in Campbell River. So up I went there to study under Dr. Pauline and graduated in August of 2002 with an Oriental Bodywork therapist certification. Started to do some clinical practice while I went back to school for my diploma, and in May of 2003 launched Phoenix Holistic Healing Clinic, and have probably seen 10,000, 12,000 people now over the course of time. So I've been in full-time clinical practice since the summer of 2003. Various incarnations. I'm in my 5th clinical location now, and just love what I do. I mean, there's days where it's challenging and people are not taking their personal power and able to really restore their health and their wellness. I guess what I bring to the table is if I could do it, all of us can do it. Everyone can do it. And it's a systematic approach. The more and more I've studied herbs, the more and more I've studied nutrition, the more and more I've studied subconscious mind and our belief systems and programs, the more I've studied quantum physics, the more I've studied shamanism, the more I've studied Oriental, the more I've studied spiritual, the more I've studied, the simpler it gets. It is really, really quite simple. But we need to be aware of what the clues are and the cues and what we're here to experience. So has anyone here woke up in the last couple of months going, what's my purpose for being on the planet at this time? One. Honest? I certainly did a couple of weeks ago, just kind of going, okay, what is the call to action here? And it has only heightened my energy and my desire now to inspire and empower as many people as possible to wake up and rise up, right? As we are empowered, we are strong, and as we're collectively aligned, we are very strong as well. And so there's a lot of clues along the way. I first studied astrology, sun astrology, Chinese astrology, got a lot of information about that at the time. I know that when I was a little girl, I wanted to go into medicine, I wanted to be a nurse or a doctor, but I didn't. I went into finance and government. So finance and government is like a mind number vibration, but my numerology vibration is creative, heart-centered. So no wonder I was being challenged over and over again. I was successful at it. My first 3 months working for the government, I hated it, but I stayed because my husband at the time said, you got your benefits, you got a bulletproof job. I mean, like, it doesn't get any better than that, right? Well, 6 years later, I was divorced from him, but I still carried on in the career, only to the last 5 years where I got quite sick. So all of that culminates into a magical aspect of, why am I here? Why are you here? And what are the clues along the way? And so astrology is kind of interesting because I'm born Aries, I'm born in March, the warrior, the ram, but that's not really why I'm here. That portal is meant to, okay, that's my past lifetime, and this lifetime is my moon rising. So if anyone's studied that, that gives you a clue as to what's going on. And then this evening, what we're going to look at is your actual numerology numbers and the purpose for why you're here, what the mask is that you have on towards the world, what your gifts and your insights are, but your challenges, because our life path number is meant to challenge us to our greatness. It's kind of like forging a diamond under great pressure to become the best that we can be. And so, can you believe when I was in my 20s, I could probably have hardly stood up here and spoken my name without being exceptionally uncomfortable. And yet, I'm a 333 vibration meant to communicate mind, body, and soul. So that evolution was fairly frustrating over a period of time, coupled with, concussion and broken bones and all the rest of that, to finally accept, oh, that's the gift. That's what I'm supposed to do. So, how I came to speak about numerology. Last year, and so when I started studying numerology heavily about 10 years ago, it was at the time of a relationship that was breaking up. And you know what? We were perfectly matched astrologically on sun astrology, on Chinese astrology. On paper, it's supposed to work, but why are we still having challenges? And when I got into numerology and did his numbers and mine, went, oh, well, that makes perfect sense, because those two numbers are challenge numbers. And even though there's challenge numbers, and sometimes that speaks to your family or friends, past relationships perhaps, or even your work, the kind of work that you've done in the past, did you love it, did you not? We're meant to grow as a result of that. So there's no truly challenge numbers in our life. It's just that much more awareness to see things from a different perspective. And so I'll use vibration and energy and the numbers interchangeably. They're basically all speaking the same thing. And so that gave me a huge clue. And so then I started running it for my sons and my ex and different people I would meet, my best friends. And so it became fun. It was like, oh, that's interesting. And so a few years ago when I took a numerology course, I came up with what my missing numbers were. Another clue to why am I here on the planet. And so then started looking for 4 vibration, 5 vibration, and 8 vibration. And so chatting with a friend of mine last May, I said, we've been looking for a house, and guess what? Listen to this. We found this house. It was listen to the numbers, 1 + 4 = 5. It was the 14th house that we saw in a 14-week period of time with the realtor. The offer was accepted on the 14th of April. The house number 3362 adds up to, you got it, 145. The key code that was on the key that is now my studio door, that serial number added up to 145. My 5th business location, and it was like, wow, isn't this interesting? And it just flowed, like it just systematically unrolled as though it was really meant to be, like I'd unlocked something that had been hidden for a period of time. And so that's how that invitation came to be a speaker in December. And then since then, I've just been having a blast doing the work for other people, doing charts for other people, so that you have a better understanding of what your purpose is. And sometimes it's just a little tweak, or sometimes it's, maybe if you did an about face, it might be a little easier. Or, okay, I'm afraid to take on my role and my responsibility. When a 6-year-old is saying, I've come here because I have a job to do, still by the age of 5 or 6, we remember where we came from and why we've come. And if that's not nurtured, we tend to forget it because we get into the denser aspect of this world and the planet itself. So that's what numerology has an opportunity to do, is to allow you to remember a little bit better that aspect. So comments, thoughts, questions, anything in particular, so I can make sure I can address your burning desire this evening for information? Okay. As we look at your numbers, what I'd like you to do is take a piece of paper and please be sure everyone has, if you'd like to just fill in this little piece of paper, put it in the green basket there. It's information about numerology.
Yeah.
You got? Everybody's got.
You have paper. Okay.
You got the yellow one? You got this? Yeah, everybody's got one. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're just going to play with your numbers a little bit and just make sure that you're very much aware of what lies in front of you. Perfect. That's awesome. Thank you kindly. So we'll be offering some discounts on sessions and free sessions and things like that. Feel free to take part or not. No, I truly, and hear me very, very clearly, I truly have nothing to sell you but everything to offer you. So that is with everything. I'm a certified holistic health practitioner, so I've studied nutrition. I've been involved with herbs and vitamins and minerals now since 2001. It was one of the critical ways that I restored my body. I did a lot of turning off all the negative. I don't do news. I virtually don't do any alcohol, very, very little caffeine. I destroyed my adrenal glands. Third stage adrenal exhaustion is only one step closer to fourth stage. Fourth stage is you're so fatigued you can't get out of bed in the morning. But third stage means you're crying all the time. I was crying all the time. I lost a lot of weight. I'm about 135 pounds now. Imagine me 15 pounds lighter. I was super duper thin. I couldn't hold anything into my system. I couldn't sleep even though I was exhausted. I was just very, very emotional. And during that period of time, December 2000, leading up probably in the next 3-4 months, if I was going to drive downtown, I'd get out of the driveway, I'd make the turn, I'd get to the next intersection and go, so do I turn left or right? That's how bad it was for me way back when. And so the reality is I responded to how does this vessel need to be taken care of? And I can't talk my way out of a brown paper bag. You'll find that out for sure this evening, right? So, oh my gosh, that's the gift, this miraculous vessel. And if you think of anything less than that, it would take probably 30 pages of calculus on a computer to get a robot to open up its digits and to move over and pick something up and then put it someplace else. And we just do that and take it for granted. So who you are and what you are is absolutely, essentially, incredibly amazing. And if we recognized it from a physical perspective and dealt with our emotions, if we're 4 energetic bodies, our physical body, our emotional field is about 2 inches away from us, our mental field about 8 inches away, and our spiritual field goes up about 56 feet, depending upon what kind of clarity we have on spirit. So if there's a disturbance out there in the spiritual field and you don't reconcile it so that your soul can rest comfortably in your heart, it comes in and disturbs your mental field. Oh, you're perplexed, can't think about things, distracted, things are not so easily planned and executed. If you don't reconcile it there so your spirit can rest comfortably in your heart, it comes in and disturbs your emotional field. So now it's like you're dealing with some anger, some frustration, sadness, grief, fear. Fear is running huge right now on the planet, right? So reconciling so that your spirit can rest comfortably in your heart, then it comes in and disturbs the physical field. And it's almost as though someone comes along, your soul, and says, if I just give you an owie right here, chop goes her toe, then will that be enough to cause what it's going to take to get to do the work, and let's get on to the path that we were meant to be. So a little bit of what's going on in the planet right now, it is very, in my opinion, in the research that I've done, a very dedicated agenda to vaccinate and control the planet. And so recognizing our innate immune system is health. Even someone with an average immune system can overcome what's going on. So really, really important to understand that. We were talking just a little bit before we started recording, and was asked to speak a little bit to it this evening. And I did bring along a few things just to be sure that you're really empowered to know how to look after yourself, and you can go out with confidence out there. It's a pretty scary place out there though right now, but holy, just the little things that you can do that are really huge and really can make you very, very strong, and just a conscious awareness of all of that. So just drink water every 15 minutes. If you came across the virus, it is a viral pneumonia. So the joke is if one person sneezes, you got to go buy toilet paper. But it's a pneumonia, so we don't need any more toilet paper. If you have lots, well, that's good, but right, we should be buying tissue if anything, right? But right, so that's one of the indications that people are sheep and they're sleeping. Right? Why are you buying toilet paper? I don't know. Everyone else is, so I guess I'll go get some too, right? I mean, I even sort of went into that myself. What happens if it's cleaned out and they never manufacture anymore, right? Okay, now wait a minute. So I calculated with all the rolls of toilet paper I had in the house, I was good for 27 weeks. But I still went out and bought another 9 rolls, just in case, right? I mean, we're all prone to fall into the trap. And so if you feel like you're feeling vulnerable, absolutely, because the power out there is trying to knock us down and keep us down. So just water. The virus will be destroyed by simple soap and water. So wash your hands frequently, of course. We should all do that anyways, right? The Black Plague, they didn't know about sanitation as much as we know now. So just that by itself is very, very powerful. And staying home, well, I don't know, but right, we don't want to communicate it out there. But the statistics, it's less than 1/3 in the last 5 months. People who have succumbed to COVID, according to the statistics, than the flu in the last 3 months, historically. In fact, the statistics are 1 person dies, 43 people die every month of asthma-related respiratory illnesses in Canada. Historically, well, we're not really worried about the people with asthma, right? Right? So there's just look to the agenda, follow the money. That whole agenda is really, really big, right? It's intended to take away your health rights, take away your financial, and just to really create a different momentum out there. Most important, up your vitamin C. This is a fat lipid virus. So it is not bacteria. Antibacterial stuff doesn't kill viruses. So don't need to spend more money on that. Good idea to clean the house, I guess. We should all have a clean house. But just recognize that it's a virus, and it can be shared by a violent sneeze, by a whatever, right, of course. So again, wash your hands, put silver up your nose, right? The silver itself, Nature Sunshine is the company that I have. It will actually disrupt viral replication. It will destroy the mucoid lining of the external core of the virus itself. So if this is applied every 4 hours, you're good as gold. Like you're good as gold. Make sure you take zinc, thymus gland, vitamin E with selenium. Up your healthy fats. So healthy butter, very important. Avocados, things to nourish your brain like black cod. Walnuts are very, very good as well. And so magnesium, because if your white cell count is down, magnesium is necessary to build that up again. So there's some really basic things which are just iodine. We should have a good multivitamin. Take some kelp. Astragalus is really good for boosting the immune system. Probiotics, 2/3 of our immune system is in the gut. And coconut oil is a debated one. It's on the avoid list for every single blood type by Dr. D'Adamo, so maybe yes, maybe no, but up the healthy fats. That's the critical, important piece. And then I recommend for everyone liquid chlorophyll. And so chlorophyll is cleaning the blood and supporting the liver. And so you need to hydrate your system very well, at least 50% of your body weight in ounces of water a day. So if you're just doing those basic things, like you're already a dynamo. And the chlorophyll will oxygenate the blood. So breathe. Very important, right? And laugh. Like there's some laughter out there somewhere along the way. So lots of funny stuff going on nowadays, right? So I don't want to take too much more time around that, except back to why did you come to the planet and be here at this time? It is thought that 300 years ago is when your soul decided on this incarnation. And if the soul is all-knowing and all transcends time, past, present, and future, is happening simultaneously. There's an excellent movie out there called Cloud Atlas. Didn't get rave reviews because it's a complicated movie. And it's past, present, and future. 6 lives happening simultaneously, back and forth. I mean, the first time there was a lot of violence and it was like, oh, I can't watch those scenes. When I saw it the second time, I probably closed my eyes half of the time, maybe 10. And then I went to see it with a numerologist, Chinese face reader, and she said, okay, I still closed my eyes 3 times. And she said to me, recognize that every single person that you see, including those people walking along the street, all of us have been together in a past life. We've reconnected for the purpose of maybe it's just this evening, maybe it's longer than that. But we're here on destiny. Oh my gosh, I'm just getting shivers. It's a destiny plan to be here collectively at this point in time, because this planet is in trouble. And so what it is that we can empower each other with and to support the environment that we live in is critically important. And just go, whoa, holy cow. Like I have often thought, especially in the last 20 years as I've gone through my own health journey and then into the work that I do at Phoenix Healing Clinic, is that only 1 in 2 of us is going to survive. But you know what? I somehow didn't really think I was going to see it in this lifetime. And son of a moose, maybe it's here. Or maybe it's not. Right? So at the end of the day, when you go to bed at night, just even if you breathe in 5 seconds, hold 5 seconds, count 5, and then exhale 5 seconds, and then count 5. And if you do that as you go to bed at night, your hand on your heart, you are in alignment. And that will bring great peace and tranquility to you. Because one of the most significant things is the anxiety and the fear is causing people's immune systems to be dropped. And then that's creating an open environment to be unwell. Even if it's just the bacteria that is the typical cold and flu season or allergy season or whatever it is. So to leave you with any message, and yes, I'm not a doctor, or let's say, no, I'm not a doctor, but I know what it took to bring this body back. And I've seen it happen thousands of times for people who just take charge and make some changes in their lifetime. So hats off to you for being here at this time, because fight's on, right? And so recognize that. So if you look at your month of birth, write that down. So whatever month, let's look at your numbers particularly now. So from 1 to 12, just write down that number. Your day of birth, and if there's a 0 behind it, a 10 or a 20 or a 30, write that down. And then your year of birth. So what you're going to do with the year of birth is you're going to add up those numbers. So for me, 1956, 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 6 is 21, is a 2-1. And then I'm going to always reduce to 1 single digit. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So if you were born in October, because up till September it's 1 digit, October is a 1-0. November, 1 plus 1 is 2. It reduces to 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. And December, 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, so you've got your month of birth, your day of birth, your year of birth. Has everybody got that?
So, just, so 1949, would add up to 3?
So 9, 10, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. So I get 2, 3, 5, 1949.
So that number is 5?
Yeah. Is that right? 1949? 9. 9 and 1 is 10, 19, 20, 20, 1, 2, 3 by adding in the 4. So 2, 3, 5. So it's a 5.
And then 10 reduces to 1?
A 10 reduces to 1, but that 0 is important. That 0 is a very essential component to your numerology, to your life path.
I thought it was clear going on.
Okay.
You mentioned 10. So don't we add the single numbers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And see on mine, I got 19, and 1 and 9 is 10.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Which reduces to 1.
Because I didn't need to reduce either of those further. This one came to 19 years now. Oh no, sorry, I'm lying. 20. Well, it's a 2. Not 10. It's a 2.
But there's still a 0 sitting there. So there's a segment called Potency of 0, which I'll speak to as well.
1948 reduces to 5.
So 1949 is your year of birth? Yeah. So 1 and 9 is 10, plus 4 is 14, plus 9 is 23, and then you add 2 and 3 and you get 5.
So that's a 5.
So that's what that means.
So we add all of them, like day and month and year?
No, we'll do that separately. Yeah, this is
Just the year.
just the year right now.
Oh, yeah.
Just the year right now, because there's 2 different ways of doing it. So what I want you to do is just your month of birth, your day of birth, and add up your year of birth. That's your vibration. And I'll speak to what each of the numbers mean by vibration. But I just want you to do your vibration first.
Yes, but she said that the 0 is important.
The 0 is it's silent, but the 0 is significant. Okay, so you got your day, your month, your day, and your year of birth. Okay, now if you take your month, your day, and your year of birth and add all those numbers up in a row, so not breaking the year of birth down to 1, add everything up. So for me, it would be March 30 and then 1956. So I'm going to add all those numbers up in a row to come up to a number. That's going to give you your life path number. It's different than your vibration.
So we're adding the month and the day and then the 4 digits? So
All together. Yeah.
1,900 or whatever?
Correct. Yeah.
Adds up to
I'm not getting the difference between the two.
You may not.
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
Okay, so your month of birth
Yeah, the month and the date and the birth.
and the year of birth. So your month.
So that's bigger than 12.
Okay, and so you would have 3 different numbers there, correct? Now I want you to take your month, your day, the year, and add all of those up, not separately. Just add them all up, right? So 7 plus 8 plus 1980, whatever it is.
You're going to come up with 1900 and something.
Yeah, give me an example. What's your?
1979.
So you're 1979,
Yeah.
and your month?
Oh, no, sorry, I'm November 5th, 1972, so you add all that up, it's 1979.
Yeah, so go 1 plus 1.
1 plus 9 plus 7 plus 9.
Yeah, and get it all added up together. Show me.
Sorry, I'm confused.
Okay.
So November 5th, 1972 equals 1979. And then you do 1 plus 9 plus 7 plus 9.
So 9, 10, 17, 19, 20, 21, 27. You're at 279. So
Oh, okay.
9, 10, 17, 18, 19, 20,
So we're adding them up
21.
individually.
26. So you're at 268. Right? So we have in this instance here 11. So 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 5 is 7, plus 1 is 8, plus 9 is 17,
72.
plus 7 is
What was the last number we got?
17.
17 plus 7,
I don't know.
24,
24.
plus 2 is 26.
26.
So 2, 6, you add, the 2, 6 is important, 2, 6, 6, 2 plus 6 is 8. So you are a 2, 5, 2, 5, 1 vibration, life path 2, 6, 8.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I know, right? It's never easy, right? But if it was really easy, we'd all have that all figured out at the beginning.
It was just had a simple question.
Yeah.
Because you said add month and day, and then the year of birth.
Yes.
But the year of birth had already been reduced to a number.
So we're doing two different things.
So are you saying add month, day, and the year of birth, but do not reduce it?
Yes.
Did you, so my month is 2, my day is 3, my year of birth is 1949, which reduces to 5. But I'm not adding 2, 3, 5. I'm adding 2, 3, 1, 9, 4, 9.
Yes. You born February? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You'll end up with the same number as your life path, but the energy of the life path isn't what your opportunities and your challenges are directly. And so Pythagorean series or theory is about 5,000 years old. There's lots of different studies on numerology, but all numerologists and all of the science around numerology always goes back to Pythagorean's theory. And so to have the clear, like the crystal clear vibration of your life path, it's your day, your month, your day, plus your year gives you life path. And then your vibration is the month, the day, and the year together. So for instance, I am born March 30, 1956. So 1956 adds up to 3. So 9, 10, 15. It's a 2, 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So I am a 3, 3, 3 vibration. But if I add up March 30, 1956, 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 9 is 15, and 1 is 16. The 5 is 21, the 6 is 27. So I am a 279 life path. 3, 3, 3 vibration. Can I do it for you? See, that's why Bob is the chiropractor, because if it was all really easy, we'd all be a chiropractor, right? And so that's why I do Shiatsu massage therapy, and I do nutrition and herbs and life counseling and numerology, because to me I find it really fascinating. I've devoted a lot of time and study to it. But we all have our own gifts, right? It's just helping you to uncover your gifts and your particular challenges, because fulfilling our life path number doesn't come easy. It isn't the natural, okay, here I go, and I'll sign on to that. There's resistance to it. I remember being in a astrology class one time, and this particular person said, the portal you've entered through to arrive in this life path was predestined, and that's kind of the energy of your past life. What's to be accomplished in this lifetime is the moon rising, not the sun rising, right? It's not, I was born in Aries, I was born in Sagittarius, I was born in Cancer, I was born in Pisces, or I was born. It's what is your moon rising, which requires a science in and of itself to figure that out. And that's what you're meant to accomplish in the lifetime. You're meant to leave that behind and accomplish this. So the same with the numerology. It's really a predestined plan. In fact, your soul communicated to the chosen parents that you chose to be born to what your given name would be. Because when we would run the numbers of your name, all those letters add up to a sequence of numbers. It is a very particular vibration to you. So a 3 for you is not the same as a 3 for you or a 3 for me, because we're all uniquely different people. We have different upbringings. We have maybe different countries we've come from. We have different careers. We're not necessarily always the same. That being said, if I was to meet a 279 life path, I know that person really intimately because it's the same vibration as me. And yet an 8 vibration will challenge me, rock me. And that's what I was trying to live in my life as a bureaucrat with the government of Canada, was trying to live an 8 vibration, which is a challenge to my 9, and no wonder I was like not having a good time. Although my career path, at one point I had sold my soul, and I wanted to retire with government, card carrying, flag waving, bureaucrat with the government of Canada. I wanted to retire in Ottawa. But that was before there was a big layoff in 1995, and I was job loss threatened, and then that changed that whole evolution. So there are no accidents. Everything that happens is on purpose. And if we're not on our path, we'll get a nudge, or we'll get a push, or we'll get a slice, or no, you're supposed to be over here. What is it going to take to get you over? I was a stubborn student, right? I could have maybe surrendered in 1996 when I had the concussion, but oh no, let's just keep going until I finally get the toe off. Okay, all right. It's just the small details of life, future, moving forward. I need to make some changes here. I was clinging on desperately to my benefits and my secure, bulletproof job while I had to park my integrity at the door in the last couple of years with tears running down my face as I drove into work in the morning. Right? But I could have gone back. I would have been a very unhappy person. And often we just resign ourselves to, well, this is it, and I'm satisfied. But there's so much more than that. So, okay, so your vibration, your month, your day, your year, your life path, your full, add all those numbers to get a 2-digit and then reduce that to 1. That's your life path. So your life path is what you need to fulfill in order to be happy. So for those of us who feel like we're living the dream, isn't that the coined word these days? Yep, living the dream. Pretty ironic though, because most people are not, right? But that's what you need to fulfill in order to be happy. Please do.
So you said your life path is every number added up, reduced to 2, reduced to 1.
Correct. So what does that?
That's including every numeral from the year of birth.
Yes.
Okay.
What does that come up to for you? And what is it? A what? 8?
Pardon? 2 and 6.
A 2, 6, 8. Okay.
So that's a 2, 6.
You're a 2, 6, 8. Aha!
So what's the 1 for?
I don't get what you're doing. I can't even do it. So month is 2, day is 3.
Yeah.
Year is 1949, which adds up to 28. So 28 plus 3 plus 5.
So you're a 2, 8.
It's a 2, 8.
Is that right? 1949, 9, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. You're a 2, 8. Is that right? Do I have those numbers right?
2, 3.
And then that adds up to 2, 8.
So 9, 10,
14,
19,
20.
23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. You are a 2, 8. 2, 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. So you're a 2, 8/1. You're a life path 1. Isn't that what you are?
So I keep coming up with 10.
Oh no, you're an 8.
And it's a 1.
You're a 1. But you have a 1, you have a 0 there, what's called potency of 0, which is an inner gift. I know.
0.
Goofy, right? Yeah. Okay? Everybody there? Okay.
But I can't understand the difference between what I'm doing.
Okay. So you're a 7, 6, and this is a 9, 10, 15, 18, 1, 8, 9. So you're a 7, 6, 9 vibration.
Okay, so I added it up, so I just...
Okay, now we've got 9, 10, 15, 18, 19, 20, 24, 31. You're a 3, 1, 4 life path. You're a 7, 6, 9 vibration, 3, 1/4 life path. I've done so many of these now that I have to like redo my own numbers. Like it's like... Got yours? Okay, do you want me to check it or you're good? Yeah?
Because I've done this.
I did hers too.
Okay, so you are a 3-3, so 9, 10, 18, 19, 20, 2, 6, 8. So you're 338 vibration, and you're born 1980, so 9, 10, 18, 19, 20, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 325. So you're 32/5. Yeah, perfect. Please, yeah, absolutely. So you're born February 4, 1966, 9, 10, 16, 22. So you're a 244 vibration.
Oh, yeah.
244 vibration, yeah. 9, 10, 16, 22, 26, 27, 28, 1, 281 life path, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you good? You good? Ha! I know, it's like, oh my gosh, right?
11, 13, 19, 54, so.
Good at 2, 4, 9, 10, 15, 19, 1. Yeah, so you're a 2, 4, 1, yes. And then you're 9, 10, 15, 19, 20, 23, 24, 25, 2, 5, 7. Yes, yes, yes.
That's my birth date.
Okay.
I got a 3.
So your
I don't know what
vibration,
my
okay.
numbers.
So you're 6, 7, 19, 9, 10, 16, 17, 8. So you're a 6, 7, 8 vibration, yes. 9, 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24, 30. You're a 30/3 life path. Yes, you're there. Perfect. You got it. You got it. You're good? You're good? You're good? Everybody's good? I know. Yeah. Okay.
Really want to know.
Well, I know, like you're here, and that's the amazing part, right? So, because you're all here on purpose for a reason. And when it gets really crystal clear, I'm really, really, really clear. Like, I mean, I only started to speak about this December the 5th. 5, there's another 5 vibrating in there, right? On December the 5th. And then now it's just like when I woke up 3 weeks ago, and I've gone through my own, oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated, I'm angry, maybe I should go buy toilet paper, what the heck is going on here? They have no right to do this. I mean, I've gone through all of that stuff to wake up at the beginning of this week going, okay, my work is to wake everybody up. My work is to empower people that you all have all of the gifts that you need, and don't let them take it away from you. Yes, take responsible self-protection. But that's just super clear to me now. So let's giddy up, go. I'm gonna call up Shaw, and I'm gonna have Lucy's chat line. That'll be my show, and I'll just start right? As opposed to just kind of going, geez, what am I gonna do now? Because I'm not allowed to do Shiatsu. I'm not allowed to touch you, right? Right? So, oh my God, am I ready to retire? Well, that might be an option, but my soul goes, maybe not, right? And so in 2012, I was doing a whole bunch of ancestral work, clearing 10 generations back, 10 generations forward, doing some heart wall work, doing some emotional, some E-code work, working on my relationship with my mom. And son of a gun, if I don't trip over a lawn spigot in the yard and I fall, I break my wrist. It's like, okay, just let the lessons be gentle, please. What am I not getting here this time? What am I supposed to move forward to the next time? That was the very first time I ever did a one-handed Shiatsu, and the testimonial I got at the end of the week was the best treatment she'd ever had. She had no idea it was just one hand working on her. So then, now her name is Crystal, and this is Merlin. Because I couldn't figure out a name for this one. I had Crystal really quickly. I fractured this arm 3 times. Well, what's that all about, right? I've broken this elbow. I fractured it playing kick the can when I was about 9, and then I fractured this in 2012. She's a delicate one. And you know, the weird stuff? Somebody had given me, I should have brought it this evening, a little tiny statue of Merlin holding a bird and a crystal in this arm, in this hand. And I was in my treatment room one day, a cast was off finally, and I was like, holy cow, wow. I mean, it was just sitting there in front of me the whole time, right? And so there's everywhere you look around you, all the clues you absolutely need, but we have to get the blinders off. And that's what this is all about. Oh, is that easy? Yeah. Well, not really, because it's hard to just add up the numbers, right? But I mean, yeah. And that's not, math isn't, yeah, it's just getting it right, so. Okay, we're good? Okay, you're good? You got yours? Okay.
So what do the numbers mean?
Perfect. We're ready. Okay. 1. Everywhere you see each of these numbers, 1 to 9, and we'll talk about 0 as a separate energetic pattern, it has meaning in your life. So if it happens to be in your life path number, or it happens to be in your vibration, or it has significance to you. So it's just one of those things. If you see a repeating number, so you end up being born on April the 4th, then it has more significance. There's more emphasis to it. Every number has a positive and a negative vibration. So I could be in like-keeping company, but if I come across someone who's got a really negative vibration, the possibility is they'll pull my vibration down, or I'll lift theirs up. So there's no accidents again. Like, we're all in this mix together, and now we're just working to sort it all out. So the 1 is the leader. The 1 vibration, very specifically, is meant to come up with the ideas to move things forward. It's like the business planner, if you want to think of it that way. The challenge, because each one has a positive and a challenge vibration, is they don't often believe in themselves. So the tendency when there's a 1, especially the life path, the tendency is, yeah, but not me. No, I don't want to run my own company. No, I don't want to be a supervisor. No, no, not me, right? But that's the work. That's the energy with the 1, is the leader. The 2 is a loving vibration. The 2 is about harmony and balance. The 2 is the nurturer. So if you see that 2 vibrating through, you really want peace in the world. And you give it from your heart. But can you receive it? And so do you openly accept the gifts that come back to you? The 3 is the communicator. The 3 is about speaking truth. The 3 tends to be the consummate clown, if you want to think of it that way. The 3 is happy and go lucky and love to have people around them. So when I was like in my early days with the government of Canada in my 20s, I hated to speak. I had a clerical position. I had to add up all the job orders that came in through the week. I had to, like, how many were in what occupation and how many were in what industrial segment. There was a dozen of us or so in the unit, and about 4 people before me, when it was my turn to speak, my hands would start to sweat, my mouth would go dry. Oh my God, it's my turn to talk. I just had such a hard time of that. So that was what I needed to overcome. I needed to really find my voice, speak truth. So that's the 3. The 4 seeks stability and security. And the challenge with the 4, in terms of being able to be really balanced and harmonious, is tendency not to plan, not to follow through on plans. Sometimes there might be a little bit of self-sabotage, or, well, I'll get to it tomorrow. But you significantly and desperately seek stability and security in your life. The 5 is the adventurer, loves to travel, loves to seek opportunities. And so the challenge sometimes can be just recognizing that freedom is a possibility. Sometimes we're raised in families that don't necessarily nurture that quest for life and its experience. The 6 is the nurturer. So when you think 6, think love and marriage go together like horse and carriage.
You said 2, harmony and balance, the nurturer.
Oh, okay. So the mediator. Sorry, the mediator.
2 is the mediator.
2 is the mediator. Thank you for correcting that. Loving, kind. Yeah, loving, kind vibration, the mediator. Wants harmony. 6 is the nurturer. Yeah, thank you. I know somebody's paying attention. Yay for me. That's good.
Can I just throw a question in there?
Yeah.
What, does it change at all twins?
Does it change?
Like, does it change the vibration of each person if they come in together? Does it magnify it, or does it mean something?
There's a duality in terms of purpose, perhaps, because the both of you are launching the lifetime at the same time, unless one's born at 12:59 and the other one's born at a separate day, right? Like, it could be a couple of 3 minutes apart, so even though you're born simultaneously, there could be a bit of a different vibration there. But it's oftentimes complete opposites as well. Like, it's not too often, even though identical twins, and to everyone except those really close to them, you can't tell them apart, and yet their personalities are usually, right? And so they each have their own gifts and challenges to work out, and oftentimes with them, amongst each other, or maybe they're just really copacetic together. Part of that depends on not copacetic, yeah. Yeah, oftentimes that's the case, right? Yeah. But their vibration will be the same. One could be living the positive vibration, and one could be living the negative vibration. One could be inspiring, one could be the downer, right? Like,
Any mirrors of each other?
always.
Yeah.
Everyone is your mirror, right? Each of you is a mirror for me. If I don't like something, it's a reflection of me. If I'm really happy about what I see, it's a reflection of me. And so that's what I started to notice in my world, was things are going really, really well. That was a reflection of what I was doing. Really, I was on path. Things are not going so well. I'm not on path, right? And so then it's just become clearer and clearer over time goes on, to where in the days when I worked for the government of Canada, I'd spend 4 months out of every 12 doing business plans, attrition plans, staffing plans, program budgets. I mean, I would just sit there. I mean, we were at the beginning stages of computers at that point in time, but I mean, I spent months and months and months running numbers. And now, when I'm in alignment, I can command my phone to ring by my thoughts. In fact, last week I wrote down about 12 names of people I wanted to contact, and 6 of them got in touch with me before I initiated a call or an email, to which I simply said, thank you for responding to my message, right? That's what happens when we're in alignment. So we're co-creating every single moment of every single day. Your thoughts become your reality, and that's a significant message to understand. If it's not working, what are you thinking? Because as much as the law of attraction has been given so much attention, it's what we're receiving based on law of attraction, but it's based on our law of intention, what it is we're really wanting to do. And even so, it's about the law of vibration. So there's many, many things happening at a single aspect of who it is that you are. So just because I think something doesn't mean it's going to turn out as reality, but to think is create, right? If I'm in alignment. If I walk past the mirror and I go, oh, I got it in, I got $1 million. And my body goes, no, you don't. Yes, I do. I'm rich and I'm wealthy and I'm vibrating abundance in my life, and right, and I'm going to do this over and over and over again. And every time I go past the mirror or my bank account, go, no, you don't. Right? It's incongruent. Law of attraction, law of intention, law of vibration. So, okay. So does that answer the question? Long route around. Okay. So I got to 6, the nurturer. The difficulty with the nurturer is oftentimes giving too much, right? They become almost sacrificial, extending oneself way beyond healthy boundaries for oneself. The 7, the faith seeker. So a 7, we have a 7, at least one 7 here this evening. The 7 oftentimes is kind of like here to observe the planet. Really requires a lot of solitude, a lot of time for reflection, because there's the bigger picture of what this whole soul's journey is all about. The 8 is the number of business. It's one of the mind numbers, and it's a vibration around making business happen. So whenever you see an 8 sitting in there, it's about spiritual and financial security. But in our human life plane, that's the illusion. Because if you take that 8 and you turn it on its side, you have your infinity symbol. And it's infinite, right? And so there's no end, there's no beginning. There always is. All my needs will always be met, as long as I remember that there is no beginning and no ending. And I just need to stay in alignment in the light. Okay? And the 9 is humanitarian service. So it's really about what is the right thing happening in the world, and is everyone taken care of? A world that works for everyone with no one left out. Probably the best name to put out for a 9 is Gandhi. And it's not about self-sacrifice, but it's about right is right. And that's the work for the 9.
Repeat that.
9? Human.
Right.
Right is right. It's principled, it's value-driven, it's with integrity.
So what if you're a 1 living in the body of a 9?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Well, that's what happens sometimes is because when I would do a numerology chart for you, we'd first look at your life path. So your 10/1. That's what you need to be happy. Your soul number becomes a part of a vibration of your name. So the name that you go by. So all of those letters add up to a sequence of numbers, and that gives us an inner indication, or an indication of the inner you. So your soul number is what you need to fulfill in order to, or need to achieve in order to feel fulfilled. It may not be the same as your life path. In fact, it may be a challenge, which means you set yourself up for a bigger growth aspect in this lifetime.
So your life just becomes more complicated.
Can be, but understanding it, see, that's where the clues can come in when a chart is read. When you get the numbers coming back, it's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like the number of people I've talked to and said, at the very beginning when I was doing them, I was thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to like really put this on paper? And I put that on paper, and you're going to get a 5, if I was to do your chart, a 5-page report, and I'm going to speak to your life path, your soul, your personality number is what you put onto the world. This is the mask, right? This is what I want you to see about me. Your birthday number is a different vibration, and that's the only number you can't change. You can change your name and change all the vibration otherwise, but you can't change your birthday number. So all of those numbers sort of rolling through give an indication of what it is that you are to work on, and that what you want to clean out from garbage of the past, make amends for karmic clearance, and what your contribution is to the planet, which is always a beautiful gift. And it's only you and each of you that has that unique gift to bring to the planet. So sometimes the challenge is sitting there because, okay, I didn't get it last lifetime. And oftentimes there's 10 rules for being human. Anybody know this one? First rule. You get a body. You don't like it or hate it, but it's your body for the entire period this time around. How you treat this body is going to determine how the next 9 rules are going to go. And then we're going to lessons. Yeah, you can change your vibration.
And probably do over a lifetime.
And make it easier. You can make it easier or make it harder. Especially like if we change our name because of marriage, sometimes we're bringing in an aspect that really challenges us, but takes us out of there to here if we do our work. And other times it resolves conflict. And so it may all of a sudden, okay, I get it. By being with this individual, that piece of the puzzle just came together. And so it's really, again, having this bird's eye view into what it was that you chose as your soul's journey in this lifetime, and go, oh, okay, right? And now I'll just get back onto the path. Like if I'd gone to medical school when I wanted to, when I graduated from high school, it would have been a completely different path than going to work initially for a finance company and then for the government of Canada. So I needed to spend all those years going through that in order to go, oh yeah, okay, this was what I was supposed to do. But if I'd gone in to be a nurse or a doctor back then, would that have been right as well? Well, maybe or maybe not, right? This lifetime was meant to have this experience in order to share this, because it happened. Otherwise, it wouldn't have, right? Your attitude number as well is one of the numbers that's read in the chart. And it's really about what your attitude towards life is. If I think, if we talk about the virus right now, if I think, oh my God, doom and gloom and it's going to get me, it likely will. But if I think, you know what? This is one of so many virus and bacteria on the planet. We cannot come up with a vaccination for every single one of them. The work is about a healthy body and a healthy immune system. And with that, I can overcome anything because I can. Because I can command these fingers to pick that up and move that over there effortlessly. It's a miracle. Either everything is a miracle in your life or nothing is a miracle. And so that's the vibration, that's the energy. Each and every one of us in this room are uniquely, incredibly capable. Now it's about, what did you come here to do? What is your sacred gift to bring to the planet? What are those intimate clues that are within the reading that would go, oh yes, oh yeah, you know, yeah, oh yeah. The number of people that said to me, yeah, but I'm so argumentative. And I'm thinking at the beginning, oh, I don't want to put this in, like, this is like, and they go, yeah, you know, if it's, oh yeah, everything is okay, but, there's always a but, and they go, yeah. I mean, time and time and time again, I'm just going, this is cool. Because it's like a character study. I've just found it to be quite fascinating, actually, because before I just did it for people that were sort of in my intimate circle that I had some knowledge of, right? And then now I've done it for people that I've never met before and go, oh, bang on. Oh, hey, there is something to this shit, right? Like, holy cow. You know, back to my 145, a number of years ago, a friend of mine gave me a Japanese doll, a geisha doll. It's in a stand, and the whole thing sits about this high. It was at the location that I was at previously, and it never fit in my clinic. I didn't know where to put her. She's very beautiful, the Japanese, you know, she's got the fan is in there, everything. I mean, it's just, and so my friend gave it to me. She said, this belongs to you. This is your energy. This is your vibration. If you were to see my studio, it's Chinese, Oriental in origin. I know I've lived a past life there somewhere. Gold and red, and right, I studied Oriental medicine, Shiatsu, Japanese acupressure, right? So, okay, so anyway, fast forward to, we're moving on to the Uplands Drive house, and I had the doll upstairs, or in my home, in my previous house, because it didn't fit in my clinic. So I take it upstairs. No, she doesn't want to be there. So I bring her downstairs, and she's in the hallway in my clinic itself. And so fast forward to December, I'm getting ready to do this presentation on December the 5th. This is like the Monday, doesn't really matter, of that week. And my friend walks in and she goes, oh, you put the doll here? And I said, yeah. And she said, do you know the story? Well, I don't know the story. So her father-in-law and the man who built the house that we now live in, he built it 50 years ago. He's Japanese, and he was in one of the internment camps in Lethbridge, Alberta. And her father-in-law and this man got to be friends and ended up moving to Vancouver Island, both of them, and ended up raising their children, and they're Japanese in origin. And so the backyard has got still a couple of bonsai things in there, a whole bunch of bamboo, right? It's quite had a big pond in there where they had koi. And business for me just flows there. Like, it's like I don't even have to really, it just flows. It's just like July, it was supposed to be one of the quietest months of the year. My accountant goes, holy cow, like you didn't even miss a trick. Like it just, I'm like, I still haven't unpacked boxes. I mean, it's just been like boom, 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 going like this, right? And so she goes, and so the geisha doll was the wife's, and it sat upstairs in the house that I live in now by the fireplace. But it needed to be in my studio. So she walked in, She walks down the hall and she goes, "Oh, you found your way home." And I just like, oh my gosh, right? I mean, you can't make this shit up. And so where did this come from, right? It's just, it was meant to happen, and it's all that vibration. So what we resist persists, but sometimes opening that door is the next gift. Okay? So you've got your vibration, your month, your day, and your year, and then you've got your life path number. And so those are clues to give you an indication of what it is that you're meant to accomplish. So different than if you just added up your month, your day, and your year, you'll get still your 1 or your 8 or your 9 or your 7, but the vibration of your life path is going to be different.
That's your life path number, is it?
That single number, yeah. Those 2 numbers are going to add up to, or add up to whatever the number is, right?
You'll get a number from 1 to 9.
Yep.
That's your life path.
Yep.
Right?
Then you said, so mine was 1 plus 0.
The 0.
You said that was something to do.
So the 0, good time to just maybe introduce that. The 0, what's called potency of 0. So if you were born on the 10th or the 20th or the 30th, or your life path adds up to a 1 plus 0/1. The 0 is considered by the ancients of infinite wisdom. You inherently know the good and the bad. It's an energy of conscious awareness that's there. And so if you have a 1-0 vibrating, it's to encourage people to take their personal power and move forward. If it's a 2-0, the 2 with that 0 is to do it with love, with the encouragement of helpfulness. And if it's a 3, it's meant to be in the 3-0, counseling, somehow a dedication in terms of interpreting or deciphering information for people. So that 0 inherently comes with a higher level of conscious awareness because you brought it in with you. Yeah. And now it's, do you choose to use it? And it's really for the betterment of all, right? Because we're really all in this together. And what did we come here for? So, okay?
Okay, that's got the life number. Now,
Yeah.
You were talking about 3 numbers. Next.
Next.
I want to get that straight.
Okay, so the 3 numbers being your month, day, year, your vibration.
So the year you were born becomes a single number.
Correct.
So then you have your day, your month, and that year.
That's your vibration.
Okay, that's the vibration.
That's the vibration.
You told me I was a 268.
That's your life
Don't come
path.
from 2, 2, 5, 1, and then a 0.
Yeah, you're 251.
Because it's November, so that's a 2.
Yeah,
Day is 5th.
yeah,
And then the 1972 is 19, which is 10.
Yes.
9 plus 1 is 10.
yes.
Which is 1.
Okay,
So 251.
251. Now, if you add that up, you get 7. No, you get 252, 5 is 7, and 1 is 8. But if you add up,
Would be 8, right?
your life path is 8. So you're going to get an 8 if you do it by adding up your month, day, and year. You're going to get an 8. If you add up your month, your day, and the 4 digits of the year, you come up with a 268, right? Is that yours?
Oh, okay.
You're a 268. So your 2 is that loving vibration. It's the mediator. You detest conflict.
No.
The 6, the 6 is the nurturer, is how to take care of other people. But most importantly, are looking after yourself in the process. And the 8 is one of the mind numbers. There's 3 categories in numbers. The 8 is about business. And so you have a mind for business, like you excel at that ability to create something, whether it be doing potpourri at home, or whether it be an accountant, or whether it be working on BC Ferries and as a comptroller, or whether it be the 8 excels at business itself?
So, I'm an 8.
Okay.
And I do own my own business.
Okay.
I don't find that I excel at it. In that, I'm not driven to chase down customers. Not that I'm saying, oh, I'm so good, I shouldn't be. I'm just like, you know what, I can't sell soap to a stinky person. I don't want to have to try to convince you why you need my thing, right? You know what I mean? So to me, that 8 doesn't make sense in my life and what I do.
But if it did, and you recognized what your hurdles were to overcome in order to achieve so that you could sell ice to an Eskimo, then you would have a lot easier degree of success in your life, perhaps. It's meant to be hard because you're meant to grow up to a higher level.
Like, I'm just wondering, am I just being lazy?
Possibly.
I'm kidding myself, right? Like, you know?
And that's when you take a look at what is your soul number, what is your personality number, what is your birthday number, what is your attitude number, what is your power name number, your destiny number, right? All of those come up.
So looking at numbers specifically, without getting into all of the permutations, because, you know, I think
That's why I would do a chart for you. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
sessions, whatever.
Yes.
So if I, and you know, I've always known this, but I've never understood it. But I'm wondering if now, from listening to what you've been saying, that if I'm a 1 plus a 0, but I really know that I'm 9. You know, I've known all my life, even as a child, all the numbers in my life fed up to 9, and I've loved and believed and know that I am a 9. But, you know,
Then you're meant to lead humanitarian service.
Because I was born premature.
There's a concept that says you were born at exactly the right time you were meant to be. Because a day earlier, a day late, or a 6 weeks earlier, or 3 weeks late is the time you were meant to be born.
But if I add on those 2 months, it would be a different number of life path. It might be a 9.
It might be a 9, yeah. But we don't know exactly what day you would have been born otherwise.
Yeah.
But you resonate very much about humanitarian service and doing what's right in the world, which is what drives me absolutely bonkers about this pandemic thing. Like, it's just like, talk about disempower people. It's about it's about ego that is out of control and abuse of power. That's what we're dealing with right now, and that's why we need to stand up to that, right? Otherwise, we lose so many freedoms that we fought for. So it is about speaking that, and the leadership that you can bring to it is significant as a gift to empower others to take up the challenge, to understand that we're all in this together.
It can be a 9.
You could be anything you like. I could be a rabbit if I want.
1 plus 0, I want to be 9.
And the 1 is meant to have leadership. And as I said, you got the positive and the negative vibration in 1. No, not me. No, it's not. But we'll continually be disappointed, injured, frustrated because jobs don't pan out, relationships don't come to fruition. If you're looking for clues and cues as to what's challenging you in your relationship, it's pretty interesting to do a relationship chart, because then you'll see where you address each other, where your compatible numbers are, where there's not. My current relationship is born August on 17. He's an 8-8. My father was an 8-8. 8 is my challenge number. Yet my relationship is a 3 and a 9, so we're on our best balance of life path. But I'll tell you, those 8s, some days it's like... And so if he challenges me, I'm sure I'm challenging him. Like, that's just the only way it is. But for both of us, there's incredible growth and perspective on a bigger world order, right? And so that's a big part of it is I'm about humanitarian service working for the government of Canada. Yeah, I could talk both sides of my mouth at the same. Human Resources, Canada Employment Center. I managed Fernie for 5 years. Yeah. Did you? Yeah. Well, because I taught occupations and. Yeah. Right. And so I did well with it. I excelled. I mean, I have, lots and lots of. I'm very grateful for the experience that I had there and the security that I had there while I was raising 2 children on my own and right? But inside I was dying. And yet I could have stayed there. I could have made peace with it, or me, or set me back there and carried on. But would I have been fulfilled? I will have done what I meant to do when I came into this incarnation. And if not, next lifetime gets harder. So if we don't rise to this challenge, then the possibility is we're going to just repeat that cycle again, right? What we resist persists. And so the gifts of, if your 6-year-old is saying, I know why I've come, I've got a job to do. Well, yeah, completely empowered. I mean, there's no accidents. And, well, he's chosen you for a reason. And so he's got a pretty high, I know. My second one is the one who took me through the veil in 1997. I mean, I was at that point still the card-carrying, flag-waving bureaucrat of the government of Canada, right? And then I'm in trouble. I got a concussion. I locked my skull. I'm in a therapist's office. She said, you already have angels in your house. You think I believe in angels? I don't believe in angels. Are you kidding? Life sucks. It's shit. I'm not happy. I'm not having a good time. She said, you already have 5 angels at home. Just go home and ask your son. He's 5. He's sitting in the bathtub. So I've had the treatment for the day, trying to unlock my skull and my first vertebrae together so I could get my brain to think again. Because I couldn't even walk down the street. If I saw gravel, I'd be like sick to my stomach. The vertigo was really, really awful. Joseph, I say, this little skinny kid's in the tub with his ducks, soap, couldn't get the kid out of the water. Joseph, do you believe in angels? And he goes, yes. And I say, do you have angels? And he said, of course. And I said, okay, how many angels do you have? So you got a picture of this scrawny little kid sitting in the tub, and he goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 angels. Well, I'll tell you, I just booked it out of that bathroom so fast. I was like, oh my Lord, right? And he has been my greatest teacher. He's been the one, the older one was like, no, and he'd go, okay. And I say to the second one, no, and he goes, why not? And so, right, I'd have to like, okay, how do I create balance in this? I got this super achiever over here, and I got this one who's hardly, the older one is a mechanical engineer now living in Australia. There's a life path 279 unfolding. He's a 279. He decides about 8 years ago he wants to go to Australia. He was going to leave in 2017 in April, canceled that, was going to leave in June, canceled that, and leaves August 27th, 2017, which coincidentally adds up to 279, right? It's just like almost uncanny how we execute the plan if we don't even understand it. He's now married, hopefully, because I'll not take this vaccination. I may not be able to travel internationally again, so hopefully I actually get to put my arms around him again. But what, right, whatever. And so they give their wedding announcement October the, whatever the day was. They got married October the 18th of last year, adds up to a 314. Their wedding announcement adds up to a 314. The house they live in now, they are in apartment 431 East Road. And so the 3 is about communication and truth, leadership, security, stability, balance in their life, right? And so sit there and look at the numbers and just kind of go, so your 1 is really meant to bring out the leadership of that which you inherently know in your heart, because we're all here for that. We are all here on a spiritual vibration when we are aware of the significance of who we are. So much more than this. This is just the Land Rover on Mars, right? How I treat this body determines the quality of my experience in this lifetime. He's a drywaller and currently hates it. And he has got 4 7s running in his chart. The faith seeker. here to observe the planet. He can see auric field. He can see spirits that are not left the planet. He can be, and so he runs his hands down my back. All he has to do is just scan my back, and it's like, oh, would you do that again, please? I mean, he has a gift that is just, but Joseph, why don't you go study? He was going to study Shiatsu. Well, I don't think. Okay, what if, I mean, at one point I was looking at sending him to England to study, to be able to be, right? No. Okay, so, you're like, he's a one life path, so he's meant to provide leadership with those gifts that he has sitting there. And so now it's like injury after injury. Well, one day he'll make a change. So, right, but until he chooses to do that, and so, but he just has this, I mean, right from the get-go with COVID, oh, for heaven's sakes, he's 27. Oh, for heaven's sakes, right? And so it's just kind of like, okay, well, make sure you protect yourself, make sure you take astragalus, make sure you got silver, make sure you, because it is a nasty virus. Let's not discredit that. Responsible self-protection, drink lots of water, make sure you take your probiotics. And he's going, I'm taking copious amounts now, right? He said, I don't even have to have lunch right now. He said, by the time I get down all those supplements, right? And yet he was severely challenged with respiratory stuff, nasal polyps, huge surgeries. And now he's just, even though he's a drywaller, just crystal clear go. Right? So that's a big part of it, is we are going to be challenged. We're going to do things we don't necessarily, that are not our God-given gifts or our spirit-given gifts, because that's an easier path than stepping up to the plate and inspiring people to take personal responsibility and bring your gifts to the light. And that's the work. It is inherently the harder challenge, and that's why it doesn't naturally come easy. But when you've got the clues to put into play, right? And I mean, the 13 houses before we found this house, every single time we'd come home, go, I'm concerned about this house. I mean, we even ran numbers on the houses. The house means this. I just like, right? This house means this. This is a party house. This is a counseling house. This is a freedom house. This is a, right? I mean, all of it. And go, okay, my concern about this house is this, and his concern about this house is that. And, well, in my last relationship, he asked me to leave. Well, in my last relationship, she asked me to leave. Every single house brought something up until we got to the 14th, and then it was just like, hey, this is perfect. I mean, it still doesn't have a garage, and so, okay, but that's fine, but it's got this and 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 this. And it's, right? All of a sudden, it just fell into place because we did our work, because we moved through the process. So, please do. How are we doing? 8:30? Are we okay to just carry on for a couple more minutes, or we want to conclude? We can conclude and then do questions. I'll still stay for questions. I'm just asking, do you want me to bring it to close now and then 8:30?
No, it should be okay.
Okay.
I have two questions. One is regarding the vibration. Mine's a 2-4-3. Does that mean you relate it down to the 2 and the 4 and the 3?
The 2 is about the harmony balance.
4 is stability and security.
Yes.
3 is communicating.
Yes. So it's expression of truth. It's the mind, body, soul. Love to be on stage is the inherent jokester if you get into a crowd. Yep. Okay. Because you've got the balance of the 2 and the 4. So that 2 and the 4 are sitting with an energy. Those are business numbers. So you've got 2 business numbers sitting in your vibration and a creative number. The 3 is a creative. So there's a lot of principle about you. There's a lot of consistent things have to be in order. The 4 is the teacher. You study, you know, you can impart. People trust you. They believe what you have to say because you do the research.
It's so true.
And it's not necessarily the glib and the glab, and I'll just chat it up over in this corner over here.
Yeah, that leads me to my second question.
Okay.
Which is personal. I'm in line.
Yes?
Certainly on principles, and I have integrity, honesty, I stand for anything other than that. However, most of my life I've also been a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm comfortable in that role. It doesn't matter whether it's, say, my career as in education, and I was a principal and superintendent and that sort of thing. But in the area of sports, in the last 10 years, I curled.
Mm-hmm.
What was I? I was a skip, and I loved it. So the 9 gives, there's no indication there that there was a 1 in there yet.
The 9 is, if you go to 0 to 8, each of them has their energy for what it is that we're meant to learn. The 9's expectation, the expectation of anybody with a 9 anywhere in the chart, you could be born in September, you could be born on the 9th of the month, you could be, but that 9 vibration is the expectation is you got them all. You got a vibration 1, leadership, you got a vibration 2, the mediator, you got a vibration 3, the communicator, you got a vibration 4. The expectation is you've got it down.
Okay, that's true. I can see myself in all the numbers.
Yeah.
It's stronger in a couple.
Exactly.
Wouldn't number 1 make a good 9?
Oh, absolutely.
A good leader would be great for humanitarian service.
Wouldn't we be blessed if we have okay, it just keeps coming back, so I'm going to say it. We have such an adolescent leadership in our politicians. I mean, it is not a higher vibration in terms of spiritual awareness, and let's take care of everyone, right? And I'm not speaking just of our prime minister and his age. Look at it globally. I mean, how are we looking after the planet as a whole? Do we care about the garbage that's thrown out on the streets? Right now, we have guards sitting at the gates of our parks, so we can't go in there and congregate. But it doesn't matter if somebody wipes somebody out on the highway and almost kills somebody, right? I mean, like our value systems and our accountability and our responsibility. So ideally, wouldn't it be wonderful if we had that 9 as a 1, or that 1 who vibrated 9?
So isn't this just to throw another wrench into it, because I think this is a really interesting discussion. So Ron and I are married. I'm the 1 that wants to be a 9. He's the 9 that wants to be a 1.
Yep. Balance.
And my birthday's February 3rd, and his birthday's February 4th.
Uh-huh.
So we're pretty close, and I think, in terms of how we resonate with each other. But is that a conflict? That I want to be him and he wants to be me?
No, it's about bringing up the gifts that you each have to its maximum capacity. I mean, when I first started studying this way back when, okay, so my husband's life path is a 1. I'm a 9. My oldest son is a 9. My youngest son is a 1. The 1 and the 9 are the challenge to each other. And then I looked at our astrological charts, and then I looked at, like, we set ourselves up to annihilate each other. I left that marriage in 1997 and went to a women's shelter. My ex-husband was from the United States, and he spent time in Vietnam. And at the end of the days in our relationship, when I'd look in his eyes, it was like looking into the eyes of Charles Manson. He threatened to kill me. So I took my children under stealth to a women's shelter. And just recently, as I've been working through my numbers again, because, okay, what is this all about? What I realize now is I took on the vibration of the married name. If I do my birth name, my birth certificate name, and I do my married name, it's a different vibration. And who I was until I took on that name, the Taylor name, was someone who was not very strong at speaking the truth. And I needed to be, obviously, pushed pretty hard to get out of my comfort zone and be able to speak my truth. And I only just figured that out in the last, month, right? The day I left Gabriola, guess what, was the 27th of September, 279. And in the midst of a whole bunch of stuff that went on a little while ago, what was the password for my phone? Okay, I can't remember what the password for my phone is. Okay, they forced me, I just don't like technology, so they forced me to have to do the update. Well, I'll leave it, and leave it, and leave it, and leave it, because it's going to change things, and it's not my favorite thing to do anyway. So leave it and leave it. Finally, one night you plug it in and you wake up in the morning and it's like, ah, it did it, right? Okay. So, but no, what was my password? So I must have been on a particular period of stress. I don't know, what was my password? So I just go, okay, I have to reset the password, and I put in 2709. And I realized, holy cow, wow. Like that is the day I left Gabriela. That is my life path number. That is my, like, it's like, this is what is meant to happen along the way. And so you match up because on one level, you have that compatibility. On another level, it's rising up each of you in the vibration to bring collectively the gifts that you have to awareness, to your children, to the people that you've taught, to the business context that you've brought forward, to the, there are no accidents. Like, it's that gift. And even if there's challenge in there, can you work it up to become both the best you can be? That's the work. And sometimes it's just copacetic and it runs along really smooth. And other times it's like, why did I ever get married to this person? This is ridiculous. Okay? But if we went into the relationship at the outset that said, and that's everything, whether it's your work, your banker, it doesn't really matter. All the relationship in your life, including the relationship with yourself. If you went into the relationship at the beginning going, I have sacred wounds. You have sacred wounds. They come in as childhood. And if we're spiritually conscious, we've brought them in to clear karmic history. I know once we get past the honeymoon stage, we're going to be challenged. I'll be there for you if you'll be there for me, because you're the one who's going to be able to touch deep on those really sensitive pieces that I have protected against the world, right? And otherwise, we may be set up for challenge. That relationship that was a 7 life path and I'm a 9, if the 7 got to this awareness to remember to thank God and not think he's God, we could have solved amazing things. We had it all. But he had no consciousness around spirit. At the end, I'd say, okay, so do you consider yourself a human being? Human being having a spiritual experience, or a spiritual being having a human experience? And where would you put yourself in that category? And so he said, I'm a spiritual being. I'm a human being having a spiritual experience. I said, describe your spiritual experience. Right? So the ego and the narcissism that was there prevented him from being vulnerable and approachable. Do as I say. As someone said to me, it was like he managed me, whereas this relationship uplifts me. It's different. Are we challenged in this relationship? You betcha. But is there a lot of growth and a lot of energy and a lot of, yeah. So if we go into it at the outset going, this is our work, and when the tough stuff happens, stay with me here, okay? Because I'm going to challenge you and you're going to challenge me. But together we become greater than, right? The sum of the parts becomes greater than the individual pieces. And so that's the gift of the exchange that you offer to each other. Beautiful. And if you resonate 9, hallelujah, right? Well, we so need it.
Could you speak for a moment about the application of numerology? I think you hinted at it, on how this might give you some insight to resolve blockages in your health situation.
In fact, healing by the numbers is another aspect of numerology itself, and each of the numbers have a particular vibration. So, for instance, anybody vibrating a 1, a 5, and a 7, which are mind numbers, oftentimes will be challenged with heart issues, with cancer related, with whatever, because those numbers and the vibration. The 5 is about freedom. And how often we chain ourselves, if we use myself as an example with the government, how often we chain ourselves to, okay, well, I made my bed, I got to lie in it, as opposed to move beyond it. So when I ended up with adrenal exhaustion, it was, I needed to break everything down in my life and rebuild it back up again. So the life challenges that you experience from a health perspective are, again, your soul's wisdom to teach an opportunity. There's an opportunity there to go, okay, I get it. You know, a part of Crystal and the broken wrist was still at that time, did I really appreciate. A lot of people say, and I've heard this so very, very many times, that there's something magical that happens when you're on my treatment table receiving Shiatsu. And it's a principled type of treatment that is accessing blockages in the body and building the flow of chi through the system. And there's maybe 1 in 500 who get me. And they go, it's in your hands. I had a Sufi one time, bought a package of 4, come in, super, super, super sore hip. And do the first treatment. He goes, okay, I'm going to buy a package of 4. Comes back the second time, he's laying face down on the table. He goes, I have a question for you. And I said, yeah. And he said, how is it that you're so calm? And I'm thinking, and I'm looking around. He can't see me. I'm going, calm. He calls me calm, right? So I'm a double fire. I'm an Aries. I'm a fire monkey. I got fire 7 of my 12 houses. He's calling me calm. I mean, like, I run my own business. I'm a single mom. I'm like sometimes challenged to be able to make all of the expenses, and then sometimes there's like more, and then I give it away, and there's like, and so I've just got this constant calm. Okay, calm. Okay, how did I get to be so calm? So I just kind of went, and I said, by the grace of God. Finishes his treatment. He leaves. He comes back for 3rd treatment, and he goes, I have a question for you. Face down on the table. Okay. He said, why is it that your hands get so warm? Oh, okay, warm. He notices that, eh? So, because I can start off the treatment and they can be cold. And so, warm. Okay, I said, because I activate Reiki symbols. Okay, goes away. He comes back, 4th treatment. He goes, he doesn't ask me a question when he's laying on the table. He comes back, he said, this time I have 2 questions. One is, how did you get to have healing hands? And the second is, how do you sustain it? And that in and of itself is a different scenario, a different question, a different topic. But I needed to recognize that it wasn't about the technique as about the intention. It's a loving vibration. And that's the gift. And so I had to realize that even one-handed, I could do something very significant. And it wasn't about my location and pretty feng shui and all the rest of that. So when we're challenged with health issues, sometimes it's meant to disable us, to enable us to understand a broader perspective. A heart attack, for instance, the heart needs to be broken open. Let's be vulnerable and loving and compassionate. Or I'm just sealed up tight, tighter than a drum. Or it's a broken heart. I had a client come in, his sister brought him in, he's in his 40s, he's gone through a marriage, he's having a whole bunch of hard time. And so, okay, when the heart attack happened, what was going on for you in your life? I went through a divorce. How have you processed that? Well, I'll tell you. And he had his he had tattooed on his chest the date of his divorce. Oh my. Right? So, wow, what we do to ourselves in the process. So whatever we're challenged with energetically is either meant as a gift to be shared, because once you break through that awareness, if you're dealing with allergies and you figure it out, then you're going to be able to share it with other people. If you're dealing with weight issues and you figure it out, then we're going to share it with other people. If we're dealing with arthritis, why are we so brittle? If we're dealing with, right, there's an energy with all of it that says, I can grow beyond this, and now what am I meant to share as a result of the learning along the way? So, does that sort of answer it? Thank you very much, all of you, for your participation and your sharing and your willingness to be here. They are, and so just in conclusion, what I would like to do this draw here as well. I have, over the years, found that it's not enough to just have 4 treatments and drink enough water and some chlorophyll and you'll be good to go for life. Then I got into the supplements, and that's necessary, but people still didn't always get well. Then I got into understanding emotions and working with the emotional aspect, and that sort of worked. And then I got into subconscious belief systems, and the subconscious mind is really the director of what's going on. And then I got into, so over the time, it's been a compilation of everything that's been brought forward, quantum physics and our vibrational intention, our spiritual awareness. So what I did was I just brought, if you take this piece here, Nature Sunshine is the company I've been with since 2003, and they do it right. It's pharmaceutical grade. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to do minimum month.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. So again, 20% off of any of the supplements, and then feel free even just to call me. Lucy's chat line is open. If you want to just spend 15 minutes and go, oh my, I'm there. I've got way more time on my hands than I used to, so love to chat with you.